What's up, friends? We are back. Are you ready? We just got done creating Kami Pyro on our last stream here. He's of the first Knights for the Knights of Stone Mountain. So we now have Knight as a creature class. He added to the grand total for Neptune. It is now 45 to 44. Knight, the creature class. And we are moving on to Tiny Face, which is number 90. Number 90. 90. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. This is what they look like. I think what we do is when we hit 100, we go through a renaming process and we rename everybody. What do you think? I think that's sound. Mole, what's up? What's up, Razor T? Hey, yo, what up? Imagine any one of these characters popping off and becoming massive. You know? Really popular. You could say you remember when they were created. I'm working on a collab entry / making OCs right now. Let's go. Tyler, what's up, dude? How are we doing? How do you guys feel Kami Pyro came out? The Knights of Stone Mountain. Hits with the mallet, charge flame. Flame discharges from the shield for a tremendous speed boost. Boom. He's got his mallet charge up right here. Sick, right? Molten Volcanic Demon Knight. That was the last one we made. Most of these characters will be insanely popular. The stick figure community have pulled off well. And I think the key difference, or what I feel one important factor that I believe will make that statement very true, is all of them are made with animation fun in mind. Sometimes people can make really sick looking characters, but they're not actually thinking it from the standpoint of what it will be like to animate it and what does it look like in their mind. Each and every one of these is made with, how am I going to animate this? What is it like animating this? What does it look like animating this? How do I keep it from being too heavy or too arduous? All of them have that in mind, which is an unbelievably underrated important aspect when it comes to character creation. That's why I think, at the very minimum, some of these could pop off. Can you guys hear my fan too much? Is it too loud? Let me know, please. I hate when you can hear like a buzzing in the background, but I'm trying to keep my fan on while still being able to do this. Are we good? Sound quality okay? I hear no fan. Okay. That's good. That's the best case scenario. Bada bing, bop, boom, pow. What's up, Touchmate? It's Penguin? Dope. Okay, we're good. Okay, that's great, because it gets so hot in here. It's going to be 110 degrees today. 110 F. Celsius, that's 43 Celsius. It's going to be 43 Celsius here today. Tiny Face, are you ready? Let's get it. You know the drill. We gotta clean the plate. That's what we'll do right now. Cleaning the plate, grabbing our color, and we're off to the races. Ooh, this color could be a cloud person. Maybe. Maybe. It'd be good to make a collab with all of them made by a different animator. It would be hard because you need a minimum of 100 entries and everyone completing it. So how many sticks are left? This is number 90, I believe. I'm going to pause at 100 and evaluate where we're at, and then decide whether or not I'm going to finish the rest before animating some. It's been so long since I animated, I don't know if I can anymore. I feel like this may be too dark of a color for a cloud person. It is a softer color, though. You hurt your side and you're not sure how? Interesting. I feel like this could be a Rackstem person. Stone, you have a vast name in the stick community. Everyone would be glad to be in a collab hosted by you. Maybe. You know, the collab itself still has to be good. You know, it still has to be a good idea. It still has to be exciting. A name only takes you so far in the world of what we do. Just because people know you doesn't necessarily mean that they really want to do your project. They might find it might not suit them, or maybe it's not that exciting to animate. You know? The idea itself is the most important part. The idea itself has to be GG no Re. You know? I think 10 left until we hit 100. This is number 90. I don't know. Right now I just have Rackstem. Rackstem culture. That's all I got. And even that's like a loose. Maybe it's a neutral Rackstem? Tiny face necessity. I don't know. I don't think this is tiny. I think this is tin. Tin. And tin young face. Tin young face. I don't know yet. I don't know. Let's draw some shapes and see if something happens. It's a Rackstem. A dual-wielding Rackstem? Maybe, perhaps, mayhaps. Mayhaps dual-wielding Rackstem. Let's see what we got for Rackstem. We got where is he? Got Rackstem. We got L Stevie. We got Tori. They don't have really an identity yet other than their ears and being a demon. Like, they don't have an ability identity. Huh. Orbiting. That's an orb. These orbit. She's had her power stripped from her. So what about orbiting? What's something he could do that would be orbiting? Should we think of a weapon? Let's put a weapon in his hands. Let's see what that seems like. What is it? Sword? King versus Quingly? I think King and Quingly are on the same team, though. I think. Orbiting. Dimwit, what's up? We don't know yet. We're figuring that out right now. Raxdem born with a small face. His ability is a sword with 3 segments. And the segments orbit around him. A segment sword? Maybe. I feel like Raxdem's thing is that they have orbits. Orbiting or orbs. Tiny face. I see tin. Tin face. What if he has cogs that are used like shurikens? That might be kind of cool. I don't know. I feel like the orbiting sword fragments seems familiar, but I don't know why. Him using a metal tin? How would he use a metal tin? I need to redraw his pose because I want to be able to move them as objects. Kind of like Umbrella's wings, except a sword. Okay, I see what you're saying. I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm not opposed to the idea. I'm still fishing. Still fishing. His body's fragmented. Might be difficult to keep up with that, animation-wise. Maybe he can do something with the metal? Possibly. Let's just draw some metal stuff. Metal bars, maybe? Those aren't bars. What's up, Dr. John? Metal gauntlets and boots? Not a big fan of gauntlets and boots. They don't add a lot of stick figure value unless you really make them matter somehow. Give them a lot of abilities, you know? Because at the end of the day, if it's punching and kicking still, it's just going to look like punching and kicking still. Milkvast is pretty much the beginning. Milkvast is like, dude, Milkvast is pretty much the beginning. I'll be honest. That's day 1 or day 2. Maybe. Maybe day 2. What's up, Maniac? A Frieza stance? I guess it kind of depends on where he ends up with his ability. I want orbiting pieces. A hat that can orbit around him? I think Raxtem are too proud of their ears to wear hats. I like the idea of stuff orbiting him. I don't know what it is yet. The original had stone, and he had a mallet. So having blades isn't a bad idea. Because it's kind of like he's like the slasher version, you know? But I'm trying to see how I want that to feel. Can we stack the blades? Like Aurelia? What's up, Mo? What's up, Dunny? We already have a swap weapon guy. Kassan? No. This is his face. It's right here. What if they attach? Huh. He could have metal that he could form into different weapons or shapes. That's a little too boring for me. You're right, though. The idea of tin being malleable is right. What if you use them floating swords to glide close to range? Using for mobility? Maybe. I don't know yet. Floating blades is a pretty cool idea. But when I think of floating blades, I'm thinking like it's gonna have less impact. I don't know yet. I don't know that I love the idea, but I do like Trickster. I'm making a character right now, and I'm trying to figure out what his ability is going to be. This character type usually has like orbiting objects, and that orbiting objects usually gives them some sort of like characterization, like some sort of it's like part of their weapon, essentially. You know, how they're going to use it. I'm trying to figure out what that might be. Turn them into hammers? That's too similar to his brother, or his, the other Raxtem. A floating square, and you can stick them together to create different weapons. Maybe. Maybe there's something there. I don't know yet. Nothing is talking to me yet. Just keep getting poses. So I feel like something sticks around. Maybe I give him some kind of secondary motion. Maybe that'll help. Oh, I never take the easy way out. I'm never going to pick the... Look at Sand Sweeper has nothing to do with sand. I'm never going to take the easy way out. If I can avoid it. Or if I don't feel like it fits. If it fits, then that's one thing. But if it doesn't fit and I'm not feeling it... Chainsaw, I've never liked chainsaws because you have to illustrate them rotating, and that never quite looks super good. And it always seems like a less effective sword. It's heavier. You know what I mean? Like, the application isn't as good. And then usually you have to have like a lot of sounds that coincide with it. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad thing. But I've never been a big fan of it as a weapon. Yeah, I'm not feeling any tiny faceness, to be honest. I have to figure out... Because if we have orbiting rocks... Orbiting blades... If they're orbiting blades, they have to be clear. Take a bite out of one of his ears? That's not a bad idea. Because Tori has that actual... bent ear. I like that idea. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, because we have Tori down here has a bent ear. I like it. A little more flavor. Shields? Shields not a bad idea. Orbiting rocks. What do you have as an earring? The other guy has earrings. It's not a bad idea. Maybe that gets him a little bit of flavor. You can see that. I can see that. I like the earrings to not connect. Like that, yeah. I'm not a fan of like knuckles or gauntlets. It doesn't add enough for me. Because like if you like, okay, imagine the stick figure punching somebody. Okay? Now imagine him punching somebody like this. Do you really think it's gonna feel different? You know what I mean? Animation wise, is it really gonna feel different? And you're gonna have to rotate these around every single frame forever. So I mean, like, it's low value added. That's why I'm against them. I'm not outright against them if it fits the character's identity completely, but it's something you have to lug around in the character's design perpetually with very little added value. Like, the earrings is fine because these can literally be static. His ears, literally static. This can all be one object forever and you're fine. You could add flavor by adding to it if you want to, but it's not anything, you know. What if he has gold orb around him? That's not a bad idea. What could the gold do? What if he has gold orbs? What if he's more of a caster almost? Hold on, let me get this idea out. I see something. I see something. I see something. It's kind of a fun effect. Huh. I have an effect built in for that now. For this orb. If I want them to like generate power somehow. Okay. A greedy goblin, maybe. Do we do that? Or I could just make it one. What if he has just one? Ah, let go. Maybe. 10 mask, maybe. I don't think I like covering up his face in this instance. But I do feel like there might be something with these orbs. How many would I do? 5 orbs might be kind of annoying to move around, but then again, it's not that bad. You could just do them individually. He would definitely not have any secondary motion if I'm doing 5 orbs, though. And what could they possibly mean? I mean, they make me think of gold. They make me think of hot. So, like, fire. I could even toggle them differently if I wanted to. At different levels. One orb like a third bigger than his head. Place it perfectly behind his head so it's circling, enshrining his head. A small face inside the orb? Maybe. Tiny molten balls. See what they look like if they're small. That's kind of cool. We could pass some in front of him too. Like I think that's a good idea. I mean, passing them in front of his face means you will have to like cycle orbit them. You know what I mean? So that's a little more animation weight. But maybe not a ton. That might not be that bad. That might be kind of cool. They don't orbit him like his brothers. They orbit in front. That could be kind of cool. It's different. He melts the gold he finds and makes it lava. Oh, orbs around his waist. I like that. That's totally different because I haven't done anything with the waist yet. I haven't touched the waist for any character at all. And this is like a lightweight way to have a belt. I like that. And it's similar to his brothers that it orbits not around his head, but like around his back, kind of. I saw that. Everyone ping didn't go out properly, but it seems like a lot of people made it here, so I was like, all right, it's fine. But I do appreciate you letting me know. Okay, I like this. I like this better. I like that better. Now, I wonder what I could do with this. Because these orbs by themselves are just aesthetic right now. They don't mean anything. Can I make them mean something? They're going to have to mean something if they're sticking around. A golden mask. I don't know that I want anything on his face. I'm thinking. I like the orbs. I don't want to have them... Okay, I don't want to add any more secondary motion stuff. So I don't want to add any, like, bags or capes or anything like that. Because you're going to have to worry about these orbs. Who's Ralph? I don't know. Who's Ralph? Because, like, if I make these orbs, like, fire orbs or something, you're going to have to animate fire all the time. That's heavy. What about his face, though? I don't want to cover his face up. Molten tin balls. You misread last time, but the idea was pretty cool. No problem. I'm sorry. I didn't see what you said, Dimwit. I just see maybe they're molten tin balls. I said tin, not tiny. No, the tiny, shrinking them was not in relation to what you had written. Is this another night? No. I know you said tin, not tiny. Separately, I shrank them. Oh, I don't know the name. I don't know the creator for Stick Notes. I didn't even know his name was Ralph. It would be cool if they, like, cycled something, you know? Like, that would be kind of cool. Maybe bouncing electricity between them? Or, like, some kind of energy? Perhaps. Golden veins, maybe? You like in his body? No, it's a nightmare. Tiny details like that will, you know, like through his body or whatever. Think about it. Every single frame you ever do, you're going to have to animate those golden veins. Every frame. That's a nightmare. Golden gauntlets? Nah, I'm not a fan of gauntlets. I'm not a fan of, like, fists or gauntlets, things like this. They don't add real value to me. Unless they are part of the character identity and does something else. Gradient hands and feet. I'm not against the gradient, the gold idea. The name doesn't always have to have something to do with the character. Orbs had chains. That would be cool, but might be really heavy to animate. Let me see what it looks like. Because if you're doing chains between these every frame, you know, it's gonna get heavy. Concept right now is Rackstem species with gold orbs. That's it. That's all we got so far. Golden teeth, maybe. Tiny face is not a good characteristic because a lot of times when these characters are going to be animated, they're not going to have a face. So it's not necessary. Lacrosse stick to fling the orbs. I don't know about lacrosse stick, but I like something to do with tossing the orbs. Slightly elongated arms to help with throwing the orbs. It's not a bad idea. Either slightly elongated orbs or something that helps him sling the orbs. You know? Something that allows him to, like, scoop these orbs up and toss them. Thick arms? I don't want to change the thickness of the stick. A staff? He hits him like a baseball bat? A second pair of arms. This gets heavy. Ice scoops? Malware. I don't know what malware means by that. I mean, like a virus, but I don't know what that means in regards to this. I don't know. I like the orbs. I just still don't know what I'm doing with them yet. So I'm going to keep playing around with them until something feels solid. Oh, I see. Malware is a person. I got it. A small scoop. Lacrosse is the scoop. Whatever they touch absorbs or something. Sling. A slingshot. Baseballing the orbs is kind of cool. It would give him range. Hold on. Let me try something. What if I give him a club? Let's give him a club. I have an idea. Oops, that's not the frame I want him on. Hold on. We're not done here. We're not done here. Okay. Now, he has a weapon capable of smacking these things around. Double bat. I like single bat because I like dual wielding or two-handing a bat when necessary. Because it's not a bat to me is not a two-handed weapon. But the kind of leverage you can put behind a bat, you can use it two-handed. What if he uses it like Kai from Kung Fu Panda? I haven't seen that. More bat users? Let's go. It's not a lot of them. There's a couple for sure. Donnie, question Stone, after you've done the roster, would you be interested in holding community votes on... Ooh, that would be interesting. A list of 100 people to poll upon through 30 people? I wonder how I could even do that with like a Google form. Stick figures are big up. I like this. I gotta answer this real quick. How am I going to do? I'm going to go to 100 and see how I feel at 100 and whether or not I'm going to pause there, go a little bit further, and then start animating some of these guys. Let's see what we're going to animate first. Would you be willing to take another guest to animate a secondary character alongside you? Possibly. Because I'm making this up as I go, and because I don't have concrete rules for myself and what I'm doing, typically what I like to do is I'll try to get my feet wet, kind of understand what I'm doing, how I'm doing something, and then usually then I'll maybe bring people in. You know what I mean? It's a one-of-one experience. So I want to make sure I understand how I like something to be before I start bringing other people and subjecting other people to it. Because I don't know what it'll be like yet. You know what I mean? Ooh, I'm just playing with the shapes here a little bit. But I'm not against it. Nothing set in stone. Hey! Okay. I want something to happen when he makes contacts with these orbs. He smacks them. What happens? Why? Because right now, the connection is clear. Orbiting, maybe golden magical orbs. And he hits them, then what? Because he's got a bat. He's going to hit him. Midas? Ooh, encapsulated in gold. That may be cracked. If you were to animate, which stick would you pick first? That's really difficult for me. I really don't know yet. I've tried not to think too much about it, because I feel like after every character I create, I get excited about it. Golden orbs that infects material into gold. Maybe. It gets a little tricky because, like, think about it this way, all right? Let's say we hit the we hit the orb, and it makes contact with a stick figure, and it's like an infection, right? Oh, this is the worst way to show it. It's like an infection, right? Like, if we're just thinking about it. So let's say it hits this guy. Think of it from an animation standpoint. Now you have to illustrate it infecting him somehow over time. And every single frame, you're going to have to keep in mind that infection. Keep in mind, and how does he deal with it? You know what I mean? I'm not opposed to it, but you got to keep that in mind, because it might be like, oh, that gets so heavy. And it also seems like, how does he even get out of it? Like, how does... In this scenario, he's covered in what is basically a liquid. How is he going to... You know what I mean? I'm not against it. But I can't see it fully yet. The enemies get encased into a golden bubble. Ooh! I don't know about the full kinetic control of it, but I like going a different route where these aren't solid orbs, but rather he smacks them out of the park, and then maybe they become like a lowered opacity, and they're inside of the orb. That's I like that thinking. It's not just like, oh, these are solid. They're solid when they're dense and small, and then when he hits them, maybe they blow out. You know? That's I think there might be something to that. What about once the orbs hit, it explodes flakes of gold that give a debuff? If it does give a debuff, I like the debuff to be visual. You know what I mean? Like, just a debuff that's like, oh, you're weaker? That doesn't... It's hard to illustrate someone feeling like they're not as strong. But if you hit it, and the debuff is they're strapped to the ground or something temporarily, like an ensnaring, that makes it, that's visual. Yeah, yeah. Animation perspective, it would just be an alpha layer. Wait. It'd just be utilizing preserving alpha layer type stuff. It draws over whatever is drawn onto the layer without actually going over it. Drawing effects frame by frame, which would be much simpler. Yeah, like the orbs itself could just be a flickering orb that gets, you know, is larger. And I can even just do a couple frames where it's animated, you know, where it's like pulsing or whatever. And then I can just lower the opacity on top of that. And it makes it feel like they're inside of it, you know? What's up, Oranger? How you doing, buddy? We're close, guys, we're close. Again, this is always the hardest part. It's the most important part, but it always is the hardest part. Maybe if I make him look a little cooler right now, it will help inspire us a little further. Sometimes I like to grab little things like this just to spice up what we're looking at. And sometimes that gets me excited about what I'm doing. And then I'm like, oh, and then it gives me an idea. You know what I mean? Sometimes it just needs a little something. What if I take one of these? What happens if I take an orb? What if I add sparks to it? Oh! I like that even better. It's a special glow I have set up. I like that. We're getting close. Scarf, I don't want to add any extra details because right now you currently already have secondary movement that you're animating all the time with the orbs. Even though it's not super heavy, that's still 6 things that you have to animate currently. Oh man, I wish there was a way to make my stick figure look cooler, the humble scarf. It is true, a scarf makes it look sick, but it gets heavier. They turn like a lighter or gold shine visually and their movements become slower. That's a cool way to debuff them, Cop. That's a good idea. See, like now you're thinking like teaching the audience without having to explain it with words. And that's what I want. That's the kind of stuff that's clear and visual. He could hit the orbs. Let's see. He smacks the orbs. They expand on target. Maybe. Trying to think. Or do they explode when they hit the target? Like they expand once they hit the target. Expanding when they hit the target. I'm just thinking out loud here. We're just talking. Why did this become a solid item? That's not how it was. Oh, it's because the glow, I think, overrode the other thing once I put it in the graphic, maybe? I think so. Yeah, that's what it was. Confusion noises, yeah. What if the orbs shackle the opponent when they hit them? It's not a bad idea. Yeah, like, yeah, this is what the explosion can look like. Boom, like that, and it's quick, you know, pop. The object hits them small, it pops. And what are we left with? Just, you can see that visual, right? He hits him with the bat. The orb travels. The orb is, you know, orb size like this. It's not massive. It hits, and it goes whoosh, like that, but it fades out quick, right? What happens to our target? This guy was just hit. What happens to him? Think about it. What are the orbs or the souls of his victims? He doesn't take me as an underworld person. So I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it's underworld. Soul pullers are like the underworld people. And they're usually like greenish and ghouly and ethereal. It's like a different vibe. Orbs can be used in a defensive manner as well. Like they rotate in front and block. Become a physical barrier. I think we eliminate... I don't think we need this many orbs. I think we make it a little bit lighter on ourselves. I think 3 is plenty. Because these things will return. I don't think we need that many. I think we pick the size up slightly. This is what we do. Pick the size up slightly. And reduce the number of them. Orbs combine with each other because they're all made of gold to create a bigger orb. We could do that. I don't know Home Run. Home Run has... I know Home Run is a bat that's like Alpha's bat. It's like a jet bat. That's what I know about them. Rotating, possibly blocking or negating magic. Negate? Ooh! Oh, also has 3 tungsten baseballs? Gotcha. But duels, if another fighter is melee, they do this like back and forth tennis ball thing. What if they had different sizes? Okay. Okay. What if they have different sizes? Let's think about it. Can I tint them? How does it feel if I tint them? Just experiment. That might get too busy. That might get too busy. Because then it's going to be like a lot of colors going around if I see... You know what I mean? It's not a bad idea. I like the idea of the orbs like being different sizes because that gives you liberty to like not leave them be a static size all the time. They could do different things. Oh, the smaller ones orbit the big one? That would be kind of sick if it's like a back bling type scenario. And it's a little tighter in organization. It loses the belt identity, but I think it becomes a little bit cooler that way. Because I like the flexibility it gives you. Going in the front and around the back and stuff all the time can be kind of like cumbersome. But if they were like this, orbiting like this or like golden entity that he has, that's cool too. I like that. Because then he can send like the entire orb out. And this thing could also be more floaty and like fly around, you know? It's not as restricted. Different shapes, spikes, boomerang. That might mess with the you might have to then continuously change. Maybe the large orb is like the source of the ammunition. That's cool. Because now think about it this way. What if these small orbs pop out of the big orb? We have a main big orb that is like the source, is like the power source. I like that. And then as he does something, we could be spawning more and more orbs. So imagine like a scenario where you have like a final boss that you're trying to eliminate or something, and you just start seeing these things pop out. And then they all, you know, aimbot towards the character or something like that. I don't know. But I like the idea of it being, it could be more. And it could be less. Think of it from an animation standpoint. It could also be less. You could also send the orbs back into the main source. So you only have one orb to animate, but you're like, whoop, you like blow it up and make it look like it's more powerful. That keeps things light. Because then you're not limited. You can make many more orbs if you want. You can also shrink the amount of orbs that you have. I like that. Because like it gives you creative freedom to not feel like it's so rigid. Like a rigid item is something like this bat, right? It's rigid in the sense that I'm either going to be wielding it, holding it, or it's around, right? But something like this, since these are like golden orbs, you know, we have this like concept of flexibility or malleability. And I like the idea of them coming in and out. Like we could add to it. I like that as a passive for most of the characters that I have. They usually have something that they're collecting, or like a mini game that they have that powers them. I like that. Fly with the big orb, you could do that. I wouldn't see why you couldn't do that. Obviously, he's not affected by the heat or temperatures. Let's see. The smaller ones orbit the big ones. If he sends the big one forwards, the small ones will rotate around it as if they... Yeah. That's the idea. But if he strikes a smaller one for a short attack, the big one's gravity will pull it back to him. Yeah, so it's like a slingshot. That's cool. That's kind of like what I'm thinking. Like these things are part of the big orb, so they can return. Would the big orb make a finite amount of small orbs though? You could make it a finite amount in the sense that so you make it simple like this. As the orbs go in, the big orb gets a little bit bigger. And as you take out of it, it can get a little bit smaller. Simple. So you could visually showcase that it's like redistributing its power based on the amount of availability it has for it as a source. I think that's cool. I like limiting factors too like that. Okay, but we do need to address, what does the orb do? What is the orb doing? That's what I want to know. What does the orb do? We can hit these. We can figure out the ammo. They spawn in and out. It's simple. But what do they do? What's Agario? I don't know what Agario is. I feel like it's gold, like a molten gold. And it's not just gold though. There's like energy in it, you know? It's got heat to it, temperature. It's alive. Maybe when he hits the orbs, they ignite and burn enemies on contact. It could be kind of cool. Microscopic incisions, so they'll leave a burn scars. What if when he hits them, it speeds them up and they become almost like molten gold spears? That way, when they hit, they can actually stick into the target. And when they get the takedown, let's say the 3 orbs stick into somebody, right? And that takes them down. They can then just quickly form back into a ball and come back. I don't know Dan. I mean, I know of it, but I think it'd be cool if I make them as spears. They become like, not spears, like daggers, because they're going to be hitting at a fast rate. Yeah, they almost like melt into arrows. So he hits them, they melt into arrows. Not in arrow shape, you know, but they become like a projectile. They don't need to become an arrow. And then it hits. I wouldn't say that he's as putting him to any form he wishes. Just the simple fact that it's malleable and he's hitting it at high speed. So it's not holding the orb shape. And it's striking the target. But the orbs are orbiting the source so they can come back. Let's see what this looks like. Let's see how it feels. That's cool. The projectiles would be sick. Oh, that's enough. Behave. I like that. It's hard for me to get him on screen because it needs the backdrop to show the glow. What can I do? It's on the ad. This one's default, isn't it? Yeah, that's normal. I know what I want to do. Yeah. I like that. Oops, that's enough. Yeah, so he has a melee bat with these golden orbs that orbit him, but he can strike the orbs to increase their speed, and they can pierce targets in return. That's sick and fun. I like that. What if, depending on how he hits the orbs from different shapes, so that it's more flexible in combat? I think that would be more of a creative flavor. They could keep burning the target. I think that a lot of these ideas you guys are having, they don't change the mechanic, but what you're feeling. Those ideas are like creative things you could do during combat. So like, I don't have to write in his abilities, right, that when these strike a target, that it has to burn the target or leaves burn scars or ignites the target in flames. Those are things that can just happen purely off the creativity of the concept that he has these molten orbs he's hitting at people. You know what I mean? So that, yes to all of those things. Those all could absolutely happen. Does he count as a summoner or melee? I think he'd be somewhere in the middle. Because he's not really summoning these things. They orbit him, and he's working in collaboration with them. But I wouldn't consider... when I consider a summoner, he, like, raises an entity that acts completely independently on their own. You know? And they kind of do their own thing. These kind of orbit him unless he is influencing them through striking them, you know what I mean? The only thing they do is they want to return back to where the source is. He could optionally explode those. Yeah, I think that would be a fine idea too. They could explode, and he kind of loses that mass, but he can gain the mass back over time. If you wanted to, you could animate this slowly getting bigger over time, and then as you take out mass from it, shrinking it. That's kind of all creative flavor. That's all within the creative liberty of what you would do with the abilities. That makes sense to me. I'm leaving these strikes on screen because I want to be able to show, like, impacts having been made. Why can't I grab these? It's like, was not letting me grab them. I want to show what it's like with the projectiles becoming more like a dagger shape upon hit. A spearish, arrowish dagger shape. That way it can be illustrated what the traveling of the orbs, because I feel like that, to me, that's part of the identity for when you're smacking these things, is taking shape. So, this is... yeah, I think we got him. This is a Raxdem culture character. So, people like Tori, Raxdem, and El Stevie. They tend to have orbiting characteristics, meaning like something that orbits them that they're playing around with or influencing. In this case, there's these golden energy orbs. And he has a special bat that allows him to smack these orbs at great speeds, which turns the orbs into these spear-like, arrow-like shapes that could pierce enemies. And after doing so, those orbs can then return back to the source as they orbit. He can send more out and shrink the balls the source's size, or he can send them back in, maybe one big shot. That's all up to you. I like it. Batter. Golden. Molten bat. Golden molten bat. Yeah, the name, guys, okay, let me make this abundantly clear. The name does not dictate the character. The name is one of the few things, if it feels right for me to choose and pull inspiration from, I can. But in no way, shape, or form are you going to influence how the character turns out if it doesn't feel like it's going to fit. And it just isn't going to fit. You know? That's why I didn't make Ohio Skibbity a guy coming out of a toilet. You know what I mean? Sometimes I will make a guy come out of a toilet. That's true. But it's not always. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it just doesn't come out that way. Wait, what? Okay. Golden bat, molten bat. Orbs. A source orb. Source, no, I will say golden orbs, golden spheres, orbit, a source. These can be hit at great speeds to create sharp objects that pierce and return back to source. Hot, molten, golden spheres, orbit a source. These can be hit at these orbs. I hate when I type stuff wrong, man. It's the worst. It's the worst feel, I understand. Fiery golden swing. I like that. Actually, give me 1 second. I have just the ticket. I know already exactly what I want to do for that. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something is right. Yeah, there we go. Now we're cooking. He has a golden molten swing. That's sick. I like that. These orbs can be hit at great speeds to create sharp objects that pierce targets and return to source. All of the other ideas that we had would be just creatively executing this. That is sick. Look at that steam, yo. Hey, yo. Am I locked somewhere? Unlock, hello. I'm gonna see what it's like with the darker background as well. Yo. All right. He is Dunskies. Will he put him up on the mountain? We need to see. Oh, we need to. Speaking of faction, we need to vote. Let's do the vote. US or Nep? Ultra Savior or Neptune? What do you think? What's up, Michi? You're here in time. Ultra Savior or Neptune? What do you guys think? Gold orb, kind of a goblin. I would say the Rax MP creature type is very goblin-esque. Let's go ahead and grab all these frames. I'm going to move these down. Add him to the roster. And I'm going to export him, put him on the mountain. Let's do a quick little context then. So, let me open up the brothers. we'll do a quick overview for the vote. So in the RHG Stones Arch universe, these are all of our characters. There's going to be a big 1v1 tournament. Well, let's just call it a big tournament. Doesn't mean 1v1 tournament. But basically, all of these characters are going to be fighting. How we establish the fight is based on the individual's allegiance. It is a tournament of the two gods, which are Neptune and Ultra Savior. The two brothers. Ultra Savior is the keeper of his brother, Neptune. Neptune has escaped. Neptune has a mace that when he strikes targets, it creates temporary black holes that pull in targets, enemies, objects, things that black holes pull in. Ultra Savior has a scythe that smites. It's his job to make sure he did not escape. He escaped. You could look at, if you want to simplify it, good guy, bad guy, Goku, Vegeta, Zeus, Hades, you know, like that. So, every single one of these characters has an allegiance to either Ultra Savior or Team Neptune. Team Ultra Savior or Team Neptune. It's also the people that you see on the left and right of the screen. Over here, art by Queenly Owl. That is Neptune. That is Ultra Savior. They will be doing battle in a tournament. Not them two specifically, but everyone here. And as we complete a character, we will look at the character and evaluate and think, okay, does this character feel like he'd be on Team Neptune, or would he be on Team Ultra Savior? It's based off feeling, vibes, maybe the kind of characteristics the character portrays, maybe the kind of combat the character has. Let's see a good example for Ultra Savior. A good example for Ultra Savior. Let's see. Rosk. Rosk, he's soft. He looks joyous. He is a forest protector. He loves little creatures. Right? He's a good force for good, Rosk. He's on Ultra Savior. Then you go to something like Spectre. Spectre has a lantern mace that on impact pulls souls from his targets, and those souls can then go into his soul factory that then pump out energy to power his mace lantern. He is Neptune through and through. Very easy Neptune. Sometimes it's a little harder. Sometimes it's a little closer. Sometimes it's like, oh, I'm not really sure if that's Team Neptune or Team Ultra Savior. Sometimes it's close. Ultimately, I will decide which team they go on, but I like to see your guys' input. I like to see what you guys have to say. There has been times where I've been persuaded against what my thoughts would be on what team they would go on. But fortunately, we have a voting poll system, which is cool. Tiny Face here is number 90. Number 90. 25 votes. Ultra Savior leaned. I could see that. Gold, light. I could see that. Usually I would lean a goblin towards Neptune, but I could see this. Will there be a character who's not aligned with either? They have to be one or the other, whether they want to be or not. Think about if you got Thanos finger snapped into a room and you're faced against fighting one team or the other. You can't stand in the crowd or the bleachers. You have to be shirts or skins. You know what I mean? There's two team captains, and they're picking players until there's none left. You know what I'm saying? If they sit out, they're not here. They're not on the screen. You know what I'm saying? How many characters you plan on making? We are for sure going to soft cap at 100, meaning I'm going to make them until we hit to 100. There is more people here on the list that would like their own honorary RHE character in this universe. But I will see if I stop at 100 and start animating, or if I just finish off the rest that I at least have on this list. Another Golden Bat person? I think there's only 2, including him. It's him and Cashier. But I don't think there's another Golden Bat. Neptune and Ultra Saber should be characters based on the main gods from Risk of Rain. Never played it. I've heard good things of it, though. I've heard good things about Risk of Rain, but I've never played it. They are more nuanced than just good versus evil. I have an idea already planned out, but to simplify it for a crowd of 30 random people who want to know and have to vote, I can simplify it down to simply good or bad, even though it is more complex than that. But it looks like Tiny Face is going to join Ultra Savior. 46 now on Ultra Savior, 44 Neptune. They do not have to be even. What's up, Kai Chance? Kai Chance? Kai Chan? What's up, dude? There is a TikTok post where you can put your name down. Like, at this point, I'm not making any promises as to if and when that would happen, but it wouldn't hurt if you would like. All right. Dunskies. Wow, almost everyone voted. That is rare. Okay. We shall put them up on the roster. And we'll move on to the next one. That character took us an hour and 20 minutes. Dang. Worth it, though. Does anyone have any questions about any of these characters before we move on? I'll just keep it on this page here. Or any questions in general before I move on. These are the ones that we've made today. These 2 here. Last night's stream, we made these 2 here. In the day, I think we cranked them. We made these 4. Yeah, during the day, we were on it. We made these 4. This was last night. Agent Smith is nuts. But I will say this, if anything, this proves that you can make... If I can make 100 characters that are ready to go, that are exciting to even consider to animate, you yourself, absolutely, if you put your mind to it, I am confident you can make your own character that you will fall in love with and love to animate. If anything, you take anything from this, it should be that. I am not unique in that way. You absolutely can do this. But let's go ahead and move on to the next. I gotta drop them on the mountain. Hold on. We gotta drop them in the mountain. There you go. Discord server should be in the description. But let me go ahead and copy the link. There's the Stone Mountain right there as well. That's cool. I like that. I think Dr. John did a good job. That's sweet. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to the next. The next one is Donnie! Mr. Boots is up next. All right. Mr. Boots. My take is that Ultra Savior values all life and arbors Neptune's disregard for life, but in reality, Neptune cares only for Ultra Savior. It doesn't understand why Ultra cares so much about all his life. Oh, you'll see. That is a cool take. That's a lot to take in for what you just seen. We shall see. Oh, here we go. Let's get the color. Ooh, a hot blue. Okay. Let's see. Does hot blue take me somewhere? My initial thoughts, honestly, was a gloopy. It's a very fluffy, bubbly. But we'll see. Does it pull me anywhere else? Ooh. Ooh, wait a minute. Maybe he's a cashier. The cashier type. Hold on. I have to look up the 7 deadly sins. Maybe that'll give me an idea. Okay. Wrath, sloth, pride, greed, lust, gluttony. We have gluttony and greed. Wrath? I can't do all of these. Wrath. Maybe. A cashier coin with wrath? Maybe. Let me see. Let me see here. Let me see. I'm human. Now, let me see. A wrath coin. What would a wrath coin look like? I'm gonna play with this idea. So my thought process on the cashier, which they don't have a species name yet officially, but cashier creature type, is that they have these coins on their head, and these coins represent, in some way, the curse that they have. The first one was greed. The second one was gluttony, because he fries people up. You had an Oni emoji? What the? Later, Heckray. I don't know what I'm doing yet. And this, again, all ideas are just loose until something sticks. No pun intended. But let's see what I feel like. I'm creating a wrath coin. What I appear to feel like a wrath coin might be. I don't know yet. I don't know. Never be defeated. Let me try something. Let me try something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Oh, this one actually might fit. Unlock. Let me free. Ooh, this might be fun. Wrath. Wrath. Maybe. Never be defeated. Okay. I feel like Wrath is hot. The blue is a cool contrast for it too. Don't know how I feel about it yet. I don't know yet. Wrath. Yeah, nothing concrete yet. It's all in the works. What happens if I glow here? What if it's a black glow? What does that feel like? Ooh. Ooh, that's kind of different. Red. Ooh. I kind of like that. Now, typically, the quote-unquote cashier types have their cyclopic. He's gonna be pissed, though. He's gonna be pissed off. Ooh. He's gonna be mad. You know what? There's one detail I wanted to add to this too, though. I wonder if I could do it like this. Let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of that. I have an idea here. Drop it. That's not in place. Huh? What? That didn't change anything. Okay, this is not working. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Crushes people's skulls with his fancy footwork. A wise guy. He's a wise guy. Okay, I don't know what he is yet. Let's see. Rage. Rage and he's blue. That's like a weird combo, but it's really good. Blue and red go really well together. I think Rage, unironically, think fire. I like the contrast. Rage. What is something... What if I just put in Wrath? What does that look like? Let's see images of Wrath. Fire. Oh my god. Of course it would lead to fire. Oh, that's kind of cool. Hold on. This might not work. I see something that's like kind of cool though. This might be cool. No promises. $200 is really the max? Lol. His little tiny. He's got like those like anime glowing pissed off eyes. But since he only has one eye, it's just one. Hold on. This would be Lighten? Does Lighten with the... Does it even do anything? No. That's so funny. Hold on. Okay, that's what I thought it was going to do originally. I'm trying to go for a very specific effect. Maybe. Hold on. Oh, I kind of like that. When you play around with this, it like grabs that. Okay. Okay. Wrath. I see like glowing eyes, fire. A flame blade. This is what I'm seeing, by the way. I like see like these glowing eyes. Azure Wrath. A lot of blades, a lot of fire. Ooh. I'm just trying to pull... I'm pulling any inspiration anywhere. Storm's Wrath? That's kind of cool. Looking at Wrath. Seeing if Wrath brings me anything. Ooh, that's cool looking. Ooh, the rings. I like that ring idea. Molten turtle shell? Because Donnie like Donatello? That's not a bad idea. Okay, let me give him a pose here. Let me, he's not even, he's a torso right now. He's dying to live. He's saying, give me life. Gotta put him in the Wrath pose. He's gotta be in Wrath pose. Whatever that is. Gotta put him in Wrath pose, whatever that is. Wrath mode activated. Why is it not? It should be on this same layer, is it not? I feel like because it's... How is it somehow above this light? It's not, though. That's so weird. It's not above this light source on this frame. Is this because these are drawn objects? Why is this above this? Oh, I know why. I think it's because this thing is also on that same layer. That's why. That must be why. That's okay. We can fix this. I have the technology. Let go, let go, let go, please let go. Dopa, dopa, dopa. Whoa, my DPI just went crazy. That's fine. There we go. Okay. Bala, bala. Rage mode engaged. Give me his body back. Thank you. Oh, that's why. Okay. I want this to matter later, but I don't know what it is yet. Gotcha life pose? I don't even know what that is. Yeah, nothing's locked in yet. Literally nothing's locked in yet. I'm still playing around with everything. Process evolves. He's like frolicking with those arms. I also want like maybe so I can see like this. Get me back underneath the body. What am I doing here? Get me back underneath the body. There we go. Okay. Okay. Big old leather boots. Ball. Wrath, fire, flame. Wrath, fire, flame, dude. I might be a bias towards boots. Maybe. I want something on his back. Do I? I don't know. Cape? Well, he has a cape on that one. He has a goldfish on this one, so that's probably why I want something on their back. A poncho. Oh my god, I'm not animating a poncho, bro. I'm not animating a poncho, bro. Poncho. Lupin stance? Western theme? Poncho or the dog gets it. Wrath. Dude, when I think Wrath, I just see like fire, flames, and I'm not even trying to like do a Cinder, but I do want to do another Cashier type, and Wrath is the only other 7 deadly sins that I think is visual enough. You know, pride, envy, sloth, and lust. Isn't as cool as greed, gluttony, and wrath. Wrath of the Tattered Cape? That might be kind of dope. Let me see how I feel about that. The other guy had a cape, so that's fitting. Orange looks really, really good. Orange works really good in this. Really, really good. Don't worry. Don't worry, we're chilling. Let me see how I feel about it. I may or may not like this. Ah, my leg! Homeboy failed his superhero arc pretty hard. Angry Boots. Would this be a literal nightmare to animate though? Or could you do the shatteredness of the cape give you liberty? I think that the shatteredness of the cape might give you liberty to make it be however you want. Yeah, TikTok, on my TikTok. But at this point, I can't make any guarantees that'll happen anytime soon because pretty soon here I'm going to be transitioning into animating some of these characters. And so it's not a firm no that it won't happen, but it could be a little bit before I start to go back to character creation after I meet my 100. Just so you know. Disgraced Ultra Savior, destined to be Neptune with his backstory already building in this design. I know, it feels like it, right? Maybe I also burn this a little bit darker. Maybe we lean a little more red. A little more red. I like to be a little more red here. I'm trying to think that this might be too heavy animation-wise. We'll see. I like this for his story, though. The Wrath theme. He was denied Dojo Cast special guest star. Because the rippedness of the cape could be random. Like, it doesn't have to be a specific. That messes with his silhouette a little bit, but I'm not against it. I need a weapon for him, though. I need to get a weapon in his hand before I feel like I know who this is. Sounds good, Donnie. I appreciate that. Yeah, for sure. That is something you would tackle better than me there, for sure. But I think it's like, I think it's worth, because it's like, it kind of makes him look like, why is he, it makes you think, why is he pissed, you know? Like, it kind of like, either it gives cause for him being so grumpy looking, or it gives reason, it either gives reason why he's so grumpy, or it makes it like he's always like this. Boots, superheroes typically wear boots. I hate Boots. I hate him so much. Unless his entire identity is Boots and he attacks with Boots. 2000s scene girl boots. Uggs. I gotta get a weapon in this guy's hand though, dude. I see this like super gaudy like. Hold on. Let me get there. I know. Let me get there. Chill. Hold on. Let me do this. I have a plan. The plan is to not have a plan. Just kidding. I have a plan. I'm not saying this is the direction I'm taking. It's just something in my head I have to get out. I have to get this out of my head. I can't not see this. Darker blue? Darker blue where? Is that the eye? Where's my eye? Hello? Eyeball. There he is. What? Why'd you move? What? The eyeball moved and I didn't even move it. That's so weird. Oh, darker saturated blue stick figure. I don't like changing the hex code. But maybe I can work out something. My debt is greatly exaggerated, so you're that punk I've heard about. You're that punk I've heard about. Mommy, why is Superman blonde? He's got a Homelander vibe. Yeah, kinda. This does kind of feel that way. What if I take this? Tint yellow. That's kind of cool. Advanced. Can't even tell it's there, I don't think. What the hell? Oh, because the alpha's -5, that would be why. That's kind of sick. What? Now that's a Wrath Blade. What the hell? Fire hot, honestly. Fire hot, honestly. Wait, that's actually fire. Ayo, that's fire, literal. Oh my god, there's a dot. Oh my god, there's a dot. This effect is honestly very easy to pull off. I can animate the particles and then still have this effect, no problem. What if he's pissed because of the dot? He has floaters in his eye. I can't see! Oh my, he's got a Wrath Blade, dude. He's got a Wrath Blade, real. Damn, why is it so glowy with that? What the? Little separation on the blade. Not a ton, but it gives it a little more distinction. I love this, like, flame blade. But now I gotta give purpose to it. I don't want it just to be fire blade only. Secondary motion, we have the cape. It has good contrast with the colors. He is Wrath. He is the cashier. 7 Deadly Sin cursed with Wrath. But what does the blade do? Yeah! Where's my money? I have no idea what you're talking about. He merges his boots into a blade. Now, is it anything more than just a fire blade? I want it to be more than just a fire blade. What does it do and why? So, okay, here's the other thing. So every one of the cashier creatures has a mechanic. So he has this like hot blade that chops out oil from his enemies. The oil is then consumed and then heats the blade to deep fry his opponents, right? Cashier, his bat spawns out coins that then explode in a small electric burst after a short duration. What does Wrathblade do? Wrathblade actual. On contact with the target, something happens. Obviously, fire is happening with the blade, but it does not mean that it sets the person on fire. What would cause him rage? Where their wounds melt into gold? He's not really gold. His brother is gold. Cashier is the one that spawns the gold. The coins on their head aren't like coins. You know what I mean? They're shaped as coins, but they're not like just coin. Or, you know what I mean? It's like a stone tablet that's like, I don't know, got some kind of curse on it or something. It's just in the shape of a coin. But can take up the properties of their curse. What if we could chop open a rift and just travel through and then right back into the fight? That's cracked. But I don't know if that's like more mystical, more magical. This is like brute force rage, anger, fiery anger. But also it needs to be a hit effect. Like, I almost imagine a hit effect where sparks come out and then they travel onto his coin or something. But that doesn't, there's no like cycle there. Nah, he doesn't have greed. That's his brother. You calm down. If the blade hits someone, they cry. Real. Somebody took his money? Nah, he doesn't care about the money. He's mad because he's mad. What's on their head? Think of it as like a hat. Fancy smancy hat. It's like a runic tablet that emboldens their curse. He is cursed with wrath. He's being mad, which makes him more mad. Yeah. Particles come off the target, and they just like tap his forehead and piss him off further, like a bug. He can't quite get away from buzzing in his ear. You're taking too long. It's taking too long! We're close, dude. We need the on-hit effect. We need the on-hit effect. I need it. Give me the on-hit effect. What is it? He strikes with the blade and what? What happens? He strikes with the blade and something happens. Wait, I got it. His blade turns into a boot. Hello. What is it? On hit effect. We already got flames. We already know that. You know, on a big swing, you could make it fiery if you want to, or the blade could just be red hot looking. He hits the target. What happens? A shout effect that enrages his opponents. This shout releases a visual red wave. Their anger leads them to fighting poorly. Wait, never mind. I wasn't here for a second. Forgore. I like the idea of visualizing, because I don't usually like sound, but I like visualizing the sound into like a red wave. Maybe there's something there with the red. I like that redness. TikTok. Here, I'll give you a link. Give me a sec. You're gonna get sound blasted. Give me a sec. There you go. Oh, I actually got it pretty quick. This is the TikTok post. He looks like he's shouting. Maybe it's a rage shout ability that's visual. I think you could put that into the character without even needing it to be an ability. He is rage incarnate, so I think if you want him to just rage out and scream, that is already well within. You know what I mean? No, but I like it. I like it. You're on the right track. But when you said the red, I pictured something. I saw something. When you said that red, like when you mix an impact, or the shout was like a red wave, I almost imagine this, like when he makes a hit on the target, I saw this. Like this lower opacity flat red. Oh, come on. Where'd I draw that? Hello? I saw this like... Because remember, he's going to have an on-hit effect. On hit, this happens. What this is, I'm trying to figure that out. But I saw this like flat red effect. But I don't know what it means or why. So fighting can be annoying. As far as the sword hit effects, maybe it works as a flashbang that blinds its opponent occasionally. I kind of like that. Like it's creating sparks. But that is also maybe something you could just tie into how the blade attacks. You know what I mean? Like I think that's fine because that's gonna happen with this like flame blade. Red sound blast whenever he is mad, or a red wave of screeching. That's, again, I think you could do that without even having it to be an ability. Imagine the Discord group as a house. What would it be like? It'd be warm and open. Like a log cabin. Built deep in the forest. With mountains and trees and animals all around. And smell of fresh wood and campfire. That's what I would see it. Berserk mode. If he swings the sword, it makes a firestorm effect. Yikes. It'd be sick, but it would be a lot to animate that. I'm still thinking, like, you could do that with the blade as it is, because it's a flame blade. But I want... the question I want answered is, he has struck his opponent. What is coming off of the opponent? The cashier creatures have on-hit effects. I'm trying to figure out what his on-hit effect is. I thought about his on-hit effect as like it starts little fires nearby. You know? but that is like an utter nightmare to animate a bunch of little fires. And I thought that maybe they like swirl and pull together and then go back to the sword. But the weight of that, the animation weight of that is tremendous.
Dystopian nightmares. Human error. Infinity. On a distant planet. Our galaxy. Android.
Oh my god, I muted you guys on accident. Oh my god, I was talking this whole time. So, I'm just gonna go over what I said. I have no idea when I last muted. But your Memgo, you're in. I saw you, you're good. This character, he has the curse of wrath, like in the Seven Deadly Sins, wrath. The first of his kind was a character named Cashier. They're cyclopic, they have one eye, and they have one of the deadly sins. The first guy, Cashier, was greed. The second one was gluttony, and he is wrath. And he has a tattered cape for secondary motion, a movement, which will be fun with his flame blade. And right now what I'm trying to figure out is what is the effect when he makes a hit. I have an idea that when he strikes somebody with the blade, right? Sword comes down, like so. That you see these little like these little like flames come flying out, and they create little spot fires, like so. And then when the blade passes by, like he runs by or something, the flames will be absorbed by the blade, and the blade will get a little bit stronger, a little bit more fire to it, something like that. I could also just skip that, like them going on the ground and doing little spot fires, and it could just have an effect where he lands the hit, and you just see these particles like go up and like get reabsorbed into the sword or something. I don't know. Because I think that'd be really cool. Multiple hits and you see these little particles like going up and then going back into the blade. What if he strikes the blade, the flames blow out of the back of the opponent's the opposite side of them, even though there's no internal damage? That could be an effect that's just there visually with the flame blade. We're almost at 100 and you're not tired yet. I would say I am tired, but the tiredness doesn't outweigh my excitement in making the characters. You guys being here with me helps that, though. You blow a campfire, it goes directly the opposite direction. I like that. I like that as an effect with the blade, but it still doesn't answer what is the effect that returns back to the character. They all have some effect, some AoE effect that returns to the character. Well, I guess no, Cashier doesn't. Cashier has an AoE that doesn't return to the character. So it doesn't have to return to the character. Trickster, it's 1 a.m. Damn. Is this blade flammable or is it made entirely out of flame? It's a good question. I don't know. I would say it's some sort of object he's able to hold that is also on fire. I hope that answers that question. Shoot out fire runes that form molten coins or gold bars. He doesn't need to be centered around money or gold, though. Wrath is something projected from someone to another person. Do you usually pick random people in Submit? The list I have is, to the best of my ability, the people who commented on that TikTok in order. Once I started making the list. Like, Titan Loves You wasn't the first person to ever comment. It was someone else. But I had already been making some and then started making the list. But to the best of my ability, this is for the most part in chronological order. Like, Donnie, I think, was probably like 3 or 4 days ago that he commented. Maybe 4 or 5 days. Maybe longer than that. But I've been trucking along. These take me about... I do, on average, a character per 45 minutes, I would say now. Because characters recently have been taking an hour. But there's times where I do 2 or 3 in an hour as well. So I want the on-hit effect, man. I'm so close. What is it? I like the flame coming out the back of them. But that can be kind of just like flavor for whoever animates, you know? It's not necessarily outright a power as much as it is like a cool effect they just did, you know, when animating it. Explosion. Explosion on every hit's gonna be tough. Trust. Maybe there's an on-hit effect that pisses him off. Is there something that hinders him? Makes him more mad? On-hit effect, if he hits consecutive combos, his sword increases in temperature, changing the hue to blue. Can I do that? If it changes... Let me see if I can make it blue. And when I say that, I mean in an easy way. Hint? I don't think it's going to happen in the way that we think it's going to happen. Hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me try. Tins. Blue. Yo, I just made it more insane, though. What the heck? What the heck? Missing attacks. Missing attacks. Do you know the song Take Flight by Lindsey Sterling? It's such a beautiful violin. It reminded me of Brella. I think I do, but maybe not by name. I'm bad with remembering names of things. It would spread. Wrath spreading. Wrath spreading. I like that. What about attacks in the area spawn fires? Like he as the battle keeps going on, you get to a point where there's just like a bunch of like these like building looping fires. fire minions? We're really close. We're right there. This is getting... I really like the, like, spot fire spreading idea. The only thing I don't like about it is the simple fact that it's going to be really heavy to animate over time. But I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. Enjoy some no break while I take a quick break. I'll be right back. Think about that on-hit effect still. I will read when I return. Okay? Be right back. I've got it. I've got it. I've got it, I've got it, I've got it. And it ties in with his eye. I have got it. You guys ready for this? Are you ready? 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 He has an ability that is triggered with his sword. It's a 3-hit passive. And it's called White Hot Rage. On the third hit, on the same target, it will stun the target as it burns them with White Hot Rage. So it's like hit, blinks white, hit, blinks white a little bit longer, hits again, full hot white. You could even do some Sakuga stuff on it if you wanted to. I'm not good at that. But it's like tick, tick, bam! White Hot Rage. It's a brief effect. Does not last super long. But it's like a passive that the blade has. And it ties in with this White Hot Rage of his eye. White Hot Rage. You could even do a thing where you just blur it slightly on that impact. So it could be simple. Like that, right? It's like it's like their whole body gets just hit with a stun. And you just feel like overwhelming heat on that third hit. You can have like a special audible sound effect for each hit. You know, like when you hit a headshot in Call of Duty from a million years ago, the tick sound, the meme sound. Replace that tick meme sound with something else that has like a 3-note pattern, like a ding dong dong, like that kind of thing. But maybe, I don't know, rage it out, make it a different ding dong dong. But on the third hit, White Hot Rage is active on that target. What's up, Solomon? Check this out. Let me show you what I see. Let me get you in here. Let me get you in this brain real quick. Check it out. White Hot Rage, 3-hit passive. Yes. Beautiful. Will there be another Dojo Cast? Yes, every Saturday at 7 p.m. PST. Yo. And it ties in his eyeball. Because he has White Hot Rage. He's giving you a taste of what it feels like. 3-hit passive. Yeah. So simple, so cool. And if you can make him hit really fast, you can even like sync the White Hot passive over and over again. White Hot Rage. It can happen on any frame, at any pose, at any time. It's really simple. It's really clear. It takes no explanation. They don't even need to know. They can just see it happening to the target on multiple hits. Couldn't help but notice he's not wearing boots. Facts. White Hot Rage. I love it. Flame Blade is imbued with wrath. Every third hit on the same target ignites, lol, White Hot Rage. White Hot Rage engulfs the target in all white whilst briefly stunning them. Very brief. Think like sticking your finger in an outlet. I've never done that, but I feel like it looks like it would make you go, ah! And that's it, you know? So imagine during combat, though, you're like, bam, bam, butt, bam, bam, butt. 3-hit passives. I love 3-hit passives. White Hot Rage engulfs the target in all white whilst briefly stunning them. Flame Blade is imbued with wrath. Every third hit on the same target ignites the White Hot Rage. Yes! Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you're just getting a taste of what lives within him. You can tell that because he's always filled with White Hot Rage. Yeah, this is, like, yeah, if this is what Neptune looks like. I am going to put the vote up so you guys can speak your thoughts. But, I already know what I've done, but go ahead. There you go. White Hot Rage. Flame Blade is imbued with wrath. Every third hit on the same target ignites White Hot Rage. White Hot Rage engulfs the target in all white whilst briefly stunning them. He looked into the void of time and heard the drums nonstop. This guy I like. Very cool. Very good. Sorry, Dunny. I had no intention of making your guy be a fire guy at all. Everything just ended up that way. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Sometimes things just happen. It's all about going creatively with the flow. I love fire. This is awesome. Okay. I figured you'd probably be sick of it by now. But as long as the character ends up cool, I'm happy. That is sick. Y'all are high if you think this is Ultra Savior. I feel like every single poll has come down to much less of what they think the character is and much more of I want to vote against whatever's currently winning so that the poll always ends up as close to 0 as possible. And it's decided by one person thinking, actually, you know what? He's probably this. Yeah, they're just balancing it out. I've watched it. Every poll behave the same way. It's when one starts to tip the scale, people start voting on the other side until it creates... like, this is the most Neptune character you could possibly have. There's almost no argument you can make for Ultra Savior for this. And it always 50-50. It's, like, pointless. It's ruining the purpose of the poll almost entirely. It's fine. I know polls are fun, though. There's the Discord. That should work. Let me know if it doesn't. Who's next? That's a good question. Let's see. We have... God Mode Sleepwalker. Let me go ahead and drop him in the mountain. That is the Discord. Yellow highlights my name, and that is the link to the Discord. I have now placed him in Stone Mountain. Via his color hex is... I'm gonna paste it. Okay, and is he on the roster list? He is. Let's see what the... This is what the current cashier family looks like. See what I mean? How the color can help dictate? As soon as we had that blue, I was like, yo, wait a minute. And I started looking at the follow list. I was like, dude, this looks like a cashier species. Cashier creature type. So oil, fire, gold, and electricity. He came out sick. I had no idea where I was going initially, but he came out sick. That's the current, whatever this Cyclops species ends up being. It's always, whatever the, I call the species whatever it is initially based off of whatever the first character was. But all the names will change, and then we'll come up with species or creature type names as well. Oh, Kami Pyro? Look at what we made today, dude. 3 strong ones. I like them. I like them a lot. Okay. Done. And the brothers. It's called 2 brothers. The yellow. Oh, the yellow highlight on the list. The orange here is past 100. I said I would go to 100 and then I would soft cap, meaning I'm taking a break and animating. But depending upon how I feel once I hit 100, I might just do the rest that I have currently listed and then go to animating. 15 frames in animation, 18 FPS to join the joint I've made. Dude, I haven't done 18 FPS in a long time. I'm not doing animation currently. I'll see how I feel once I get done with all of my characters. I haven't done any animating at all since starting this like 70 hours ago. 200. What do you mean 200? There's 100? 100. 100. And then soft capping here potentially, otherwise going to finish off the list. Dun, 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 dun. I've been doing nothing but making these characters for the last like 70 hours. Hell, like when you're done with 100, then 200? Maybe? Maybe. I'm not putting any hard lines in it. I'm going based off of how I feel at different breakpoints. Currently, there's not 100 more people that have even commented, so there's that. There's probably only like 4 or 5, maybe 10 that aren't listed here that have commented, but otherwise, this is pretty up to speed with all the people that have commented for the most part. I updated this list, I would say 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago now, depending upon like where the cutoff was for some people, but yeah. Okay, let us go ahead and move on to the next one, which is God Mode Sleepwalker. Again, the other reason why the name doesn't super matter is all the names are going to change. After I hit the break point, whether it's at 100 or 115, whatever I ended up being it as, I'm going to take a break and I'm going to rename everybody. But I will be doing that live so you can kind of see how I go through doing that as well. Okay, here we go. God Mode Sleepwalker. Oops, not trying to bring that open. I need my hex code. Generating color. A pink. Oh, is this soft enough to be a cloud person? Oh. Maybe? Might be in the cloud family. Maybe. The second coming of Ultra Savior? Maybe. Don't know that I want to do another cloud person, though. A Gloopy, perhaps? No, not vibrant enough to be a Gloopy. Female Brute? Maybe. Clown? No. Robot? No. Avian? No. Elder? Maybe. Elder who? Narcolepsy? That would be funny. Definitely can control dreams. That's my suggestion for controlling dream and nightmare abilities. Controlling dreams and nightmares is very difficult to showcase visually without a story to showcase it. I'm not always a big fan of, like, you know, doing psychological damage to a character. I'm more visual. It's not that it's a bad thing or not interesting, but I like more visual types of damage. Or if it's something like that, I need to be able to understand and see how I can make it visual. But I don't usually have something off the bat. What's up, GB? I don't know. It's kind of a bubblegum. Nepotism or the United States versus this poll? Sorry, I actually need to end that. It is Team Neptune or Team Ultra Savior. What's up, Jumbo? An outcast from the Cloud people? That would be kind of cool. I kind of like that. Let me explore that. Let me explore that concept a little bit. The poll was long since done. It was long since done. It was for something that's already passed. Got a nightcap and those oil lamps. You see old people cartoons, bunny slippers. Does the Archieverse have lore? It does. But most of it is in my head. It's not written down. It's from sitting here and staring at and creating all these characters for... Actually, I'm probably closing in on closer to 100 hours now, to be honest. I've talked about it throughout the streams as we've kind of gone along. Rain Chucks. I kind of like the idea of maybe it's another cloud culture person. Let me play around with it. I like the kind of like black sheep idea. Black sheep clown or cloud person. Yeah, the 7 deadly sins. Greed, gluttony, and wrath for the cashier types. I wonder what this guy would be like, though. Let's see if we can meet him. Sometimes their face has something to say to me. What if it's a cloud person? A cloud person cursed child, maybe. He's like older. Runner sheep jumping out of the fence type of guy. God mode sleepwalker is the black sheep. We have that. Mr. Emio ZZZ is essentially that. He's the God mode sleepwalker. In short. A shepherd. A shepherd. Let it simmer. He could have like little sheep shepherd. Maybe. Little cloud sheep. I don't know. I like to stay away from summons if I can. I think that's why I don't have another shaman person. Endless amount of sheep charging towards his opponent. I don't know. His parents are electric and cloud. Is there something there? Something that isn't electric and cloud? What is the opposite of electric and cloud, but still cloud? Like, what would make him kicked out because he's not cool enough? What if he's got a wand? What if he's got a wand? And on the wand is a cloud. It's a cloud wand. What if age is important to the clouds and they don't age? They stay young. Sleepwalker doesn't age, I mean. Acidic rain. Maybe. Hold on. Hold on. I don't know if it's acidic rain, but something happens. Something. The juices are flowing. Ideas are coming. The juices are flowing. Alright, go cook. cloud people in this lore could represent a form of rest. Huh. Something's happened. Something's close. Oh, I like the haircut like that too. That's kind of cool. I like that. Or a place of refreshment. They bring shade, which could help on hot sunny days. Water, rain could have quenched the thirsty. All of the quote unquote like perfect, you know. I feel like the relationship here is perfect mom, perfect dad, idealistic son between the two of them, right? Lightning cloud, lightning cloud, lightning cloud. You know, lightnings and clouds. And then this is kind of like the older brother that doesn't fit or something. There's races and cultures in this universe that I'm creating. Like Cashier type that we just spoke about is Donny Boots, Nabma, and the original Cashier. Then we have robots like Bar, MJ-Tron. I'm skipping some. Bar, MJ-Tron, TH, Otaku, Bluebot. Then you have the clowns like Exotic Garbage, Sandsweeper. Not Me. I feel like there's another clown somewhere closer though. Hobble Bobo. Then you have the Cursed Children, which are children that are demigods. Essentially, demigod is the category, but there's Z, El Stevie, Mio. Then you have the Razor Teeth people, which is the original Razor Tooth. Then you have Tofu Shop, Elder. Elder's like of the first people of Stone Mountain, and then you have Crikey Crisis. Knights, which is one we just made today. Kami Pyro is the first knight. Then you have royalty. There's King and Queenly up here. Then you have Rajamation's culture, which is like this alien race that's obsessed with war trinkets, essentially. Every time you get a takedown, you get a wand. Every time you get a takedown, he gets an antenna. There's the Brutes, which is like Rosk, Duke McNewt, Lamonio, and I'm missing one of the Brutes. Rosk, Lamonio. I'm missing a Brute. What? Oh, and Mr. Guy. There's a bunch of different ones that kind of pop up. And then the Cloud people is what I'm thinking about right now. Oh, and then the Avians. Avians are sick too. We got Chronicle, Yedaman, and Crow for Crow up here. Yeah. There's more, but those are some of the ones. Oh, and then Renz was one of the clowns too. But I want to do something with this staff here. I think this is so cool. This cloud. This cloud staff is sick. Actually, you know what we could do is I could just take this and I could place this inside of the weapon itself. Right? What? Oh. That way we're not hitting upon it when we don't want to. But what does he do? Cloud, water, rain. But I've tried to see this in combat. Jumbo, thank you, buddy. I'm trying to see how this would play out in combat. This is number 92 in the Pokedex. What is his ability? Cloud could be an instance when it turns dark, conduit storms. Could be. That's similar to his dad. His dad is King Cloud, or Sheeply Sheep. He has a sword, and when he strikes with the sword, it creates moisture, which rises, and it creates clouds, and these clouds then will randomly strike thunderbolts or lightning bolts down at the enemy. So it could be something similar to his dad, in that he creates clouds that do. You know, I don't know that I want to do the storms in the same way though, because then he ends up just being his dad without a weapon or without a sword. Tornadoes? Tornadoes! What if he casts tornadoes? Hey, that's great. That's like his mom. His mom can turn into a tornado. What about hail? Maybe we can include hail. Hold on. We're here. He casts little small tornadoes. His mom turns into a tornado. So that would make sense. He could do that. He could cast and create tornadoes. That makes sense. That's on brand. I like that. Mini cyclones. What do these mini cyclones do? Obviously, they can twirl people. He's making them with his wand. They could shoot out hail. I think I like that. That's pretty visual. It could just be like seen as like these little particles that shoot out that are kind of like icy, maybe. So it's like random AoE targeting, you know what I mean? Obviously the wand can still be used in melee. But this is like a ranged attack type thing. So it's a tornado, so it can twist you up and fling you around. But also, if you're in the area, he can shoot out these hail chunks out of it. And I don't want him to do anything electric. And that's why he's like the black sheep of the Cloud family. He doesn't have anything like no lightning. I had chosen the name Plum because I like plum yogurt. I'm terrible at choosing names. There's nothing wrong with that name. I think it's a fantastic name. That is an excellent name. What if the wand itself is soaking wet? What if the wand itself also, when you take hits from the wand, melee hits have like a water particle that shoots out. That way he can create tornadoes. He can create tornadoes, which makes sense with his wand, but also his wand is sopping wet. So it's like getting hit with something fairly hard because the cloud is actually wet. So you have like a water splashing particles explosion. The cloud hair being wet. That's kind of why I originally had it down like this. Because it was like, it's almost like it's weighed down, right? Or it's heavy. I don't want to necessarily color it because I like how the plainness of the cloud silhouette is. And I don't want to have to like sit there and style it, because like if you style it a little bit, you have to style it while animating it always. You know what I mean? And that can be less fun. Trust. You know what I mean? Animating the wetness all the time can be a pain in the butt. Unless it's really simplistic and it's literally just like it's like split in half and the bottom half is just wet. Like that. That actually is kind of cool because then you could actually slosh the water back and forth in the cloud shape if you want. Like it's a water bottle. Thinner spiraling down? I don't know about that. Tornado? Let me see what... I want to keep this hair. I want to keep this hair. I'll see what the tornado looks like, though. That might fit the identity a little bit better of the outcasts, seeing as you know, everyone else has these like perfect cloud. That's kind of cool. I kind of like that. It kind of fits the identity a little bit better about them being the black sheep, and they're the black sheep. Why? Because they don't have this like big bubbly hair like everyone else. They have the tornado version of the hair. That's kind of cool. Have I ever dried plums? Yeah, I like dried plums. Imagine like someone walking in the shower. I agree, but it would be really hard to constantly make it look like it's sopping wet. And make it appear like it's sopping wet. You know what I mean? Like, it might actually be genuinely difficult to make it appear like it's sopping wet and not just a weird shape. That's kind of cool, like a sideways tornado. That's kind of cool. I like that. What if it's the other way? I like that too. Upside down tornado. I like it. It's kind of like a witch's hat also. And that goes with the theme. Oh my god, and it goes with the theme of having a wand. It's an upside down tornado, which is similar to the shape of a witch's hat. And he has a wand. I like it. I think that's cool. That could do some really cool attacks too. Like, this character can do some sweet moves. I wonder... Can we make the hair look really pretty? I don't know if it's a guy or a chick. I don't know. I don't know. All right. What is the play on the black sheep, but for the cloud people? Rainy day. Rainy day. Overcast. Get it? Cast like spell. Overcast like rainy day. Overcast like cast out. Yes. It's all the things all at once. Woohoo! We did it. Reha. It hits all the buttons. Woohoo! Okay. Wand creates tornadoes that spit out hail in random directions. Also, it's tornado, so it's tornado property. It doesn't need to be described. And then I would say that the wand as melee weapon splashes out water in particles. Actually splashes out water on impact, and you can do whatever you want with that. That is plenty to be creative with. You could even do a whole segment where you like make it to where the water like makes the tornadoes stronger, or maybe you can splash water. Ooh, you know what I would do? You splash water onto the battlefield, then cast a tornado and impact those particles that you just put on the field. You know what I'm saying? Like you splash water and then cast tornado, and it's gonna fling all of that in like a bunch of directions. I like that. There we go. Dunskies. Perfect timing, because I need to go and pick up my little one and then make dinner. This was a very successful creation because it happened just in time. It looks like I need to expand the stage again. Give myself another row. All right, I'm gonna paste this in. We got to get rid of the text and throw up the vote. Neptune, Team Neptune, or Team US Ultra Savior. Throw up your vote. Who do you think God Mode Sleepwalker? Which team do you think God Mode Sleepwalker would be on? Neptune or Ultra Savior? Another Cloud person on the board. The black sheep of the family. What do you think? Wand creates tornadoes that spit out hail in random directions. Wand as melee weapon splashes out water on impact. That is a pretty firm Ultra Savior. It is difficult to not put them, the Cloud people, in Ultra Savior, because they kind of have all of the attributes of the typical Ultra Savior characters. White, glowy light, like holy light, electricity. It's kind of cool because Mom can turn into a tornado while wielding her cloud electric cloud yo-yo. Dad can spawn clouds and use his cloud blade to spawn them, and has lightning bolts that like essentially aimbot the targets. The kid has a thunder blade, and now you have the outcast kid who has nothing to do with that electric business. It's water and tornadoes. Later, Skelly guy. All right, let's throw him on Ultra Savior, and then I'm gonna go grab my kiddo. Let's update. We got 47. I will be making more tonight. Up next, we got Olivine, Lava Lamb Chops, Hippishi, Dry, Tin Face. Oh, we already did that one. I put him Tin Face, so he's Tiny Face. Oh, look at that! just like that, the list got a little bit shorter, which means people got a little bit closer. I tried to avoid any duplicates, but sometimes it happens. Oh, look at that. So everyone else just got a little bit closer. Nice. Looks like Dan from Game Grumps. I do agree with the Outcast being Team Neptune, but it'd be what it be. I agree. I can see that. How many does Savior have? Savior is currently at 47. 47 to 45. I will update my list again one more time to see kind of where we're at here. But again, the general game mode is, or game plan is I'm going to 100. I'm going to see how I feel right here. Soft cap, meaning I'm not hard lining and say I'm never making anything else. But if I decide that I feel good, I might continue off and just finish off our list. Maybe I add a couple more, we'll see. And go from there. I want to start being able to animate these characters. I want to get them alive and start making some shorts. So everything I'm posting isn't just images. Which I hope people get value out of those, but I know that people want to see animations. I want to animate, so we shall see. But stay tuned for another stream tonight, more than likely. Today we created Kami Pyro, Tiny Face, Donny Boots, and God Mode. That's pretty good. Last night I think we created... So as of last night and today... Oh no, yesterday and today, this is where we're at. This is what we've made yesterday and today. What a lineup. What a freaking lineup. Look at all these interesting characters to animate, dude. Oh my great googly moogly. We have to have like a group photo at the end with everybody. Yeah. Anyways, all right, friends. I will see you later. If that doesn't work out that you see me later tonight, then I'll probably see you tomorrow. I love you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day either way. Okay? Bye. 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 Bye.